Let's talk about December 11th. It should be fairly fast. The 30 Years War reference sheet form questions and puzzle video. It's due on Sunday night. We should be working on it on Friday. I do want to remind you, too, before I forget, about the Connect section. If you want to come and talk, just talk. Nothing really content related. I might have an activity or two. It's something not obviously an assignment or anything. And of course, there's other times for help if you need that, or we're invited to get that. That will be this Friday, 10:30 to 11. But for the 30 Years War reference sheet and video questions, you really don't need to be. You can do that obviously on your own as you've done before. I would hope you would use Friday, but we will go from there to do that. I'm gonna hide my big fat head and explain a couple things. So on the Ed puzzle, I'm going to give away a couple here questions. But first, I want to make a reference to this reference sheet and then the questions that come up. So one of the things that happens is that this thing called the Peace of Westphalia is the result of the 30 Years War. And you will notice Germany, what is today Germany, is just broken up into little states, and it still continues to be broken up into states. This is not a sustainable situation. 1800, 1804, we'll start talking about something else, where another after Napoleon runs through and takes over a lot of mainland Europe, the Congress of Vienna, which establishes new boundaries. But here's Bohemia and Prague, the epicenter of the 30 Years War, and then this is the Protestant lands, the Habsburgs, the Austrian Habsburgs, though, are largely Catholic, and they're trying to reassert in the new Holy Roman Emperor is trying to reassert dominance. And so, but the peace of Augsburg ends up being a compromise between them, between the Catholics and the Protestants once again, and we're trying to keep that peace. So if you look at there's different phases of the war. It starts out as a local religious war, turns into political and a nationwide war. And then this clear separation between religion and politics is now established. No longer are you going to have, the kings or the princes determining religion, but commoners and discontent among nobles it now spills over to other parts of society, and rebellions and civil wars start to take place, and then the monarchs start to react to them by tightening that control up, and then and of course that further exasperates absolutism. That further exasperates or further lays the groundwork for the absolute kings that we've been talking about. Okay, and then a couple of ones I'm going to give away on the Ed puzzle toward the end. A little confusion. What percentage of the Central European population died as a result of the 30 Years War? 20%. In the areas where there was intense fighting, remember I told you that the entire 30 Years War was not about intense fighting. It was off and on, but it was still pretty devastating. But 20% overall die as a result of the 30 Years War. So we'll say 20%, as John Green said. So then, and then we'll go through. And then the following, which of the following are the most significant outcomes? Religious wars ended. The economies of populations were devastated, especially in the Holy Roman Empire, the former Holy Roman Empire, and the French and the Dutch rise as the most powerful nations. Those are the three consequences as a result. And again, I'll talk about this in these notes on Friday or on Monday, excuse me. So, and again, initially it starts out as, the Habsburgs or the Habsburg armies, the Austrian Habsburgs and the Spanish Habsburgs are crushing the Protestants. And then, but France ends up joining, and because they don't want the Holy Roman Empire to be so strong. So again, it turns into that political phase. Here's the French phase, because they're focusing more on national interests as opposed to just strictly religious interests. And then, and these are the major ideas. So, and here's the terms. France is given part of the Alsace region. Sweden obtains part of the Baltic Sea region. So the Alsace region right in here. Sweden obtains part of the Baltic Sea region. So these are things that that they gain as a result of the 30 Years' War. And I will go more into that on Monday. Right now, I want you to focus on the main events of it, the causes of it, and how it was, how the Protestant Catholic flare up continues to happen, and how absolutism continues to be strengthened by it, and then some of the key players. So you can answer these questions as many times as you need to get them correct. The short answer questions, as long as you're pretty thorough and in the right ball range, you'll get the credit that you've earned on that. So that's due on Sunday night, and hopefully you work on it on before then, but and not save it all to the end. But that is your, I guess, whatever your prerogative may be. And then the Peter to Westernization question is overdue, and that we discussed in class, where I broke it down one at a time. And then the question about Louis and the Palace of Versailles, and then the Spanish Armada Ed puzzle, is also overdue as well. The Spanish Armada Ed puzzle was one of its own. Okay, so that is where we are at, and I will hopefully see it all connects, but if not, then we will be seeing you on Monday.